I'm ready for the tour to start already, man. It's this.
I know.
Oh, you guys, man, you guys are coming to Indianapolis slash Carmel. Guys are coming to Northview Church. You're going to be here November 16th, which is only about 2 months away now. But I mean, it
Yeah.
can't come soon enough. And you guys have kind of been doing these worship night shows, and you did some spring shows and stuff like that. I mean,
Hmm.
with the lineup and the way this is set up, with Louis being a speaker on a lot of these dates and everything, I mean,
Hmm.
it almost feels like a mini Passion conference that
Yeah.
kind of travels. Is kind of like when the traveling festivals come around. It's like
Yeah.
a traveling conference kind of. I mean,
Right.
what are these shows like? Because I haven't been. I mean, I've been to like the Acquire the Fires and the Promise Keepers stuff, back in the
Yeah.
day. But how are these shows compared to the big Passion conferences?
Yeah. I mean, the heartbeat of it is really the same. I
Okay.
mean, the main difference is that the tour is open to all ages.
Okay.
So anybody can come. That's the beauty of Passion. We call it the Passion effect. When a college student walks into an arena and sees, 17,000 other college students
Yeah.
that love God like they do, you're like, oh, wow, there is a generation that's
Right.
like living for Jesus.
Right.
So that is an amazing thing as a college student. But yeah, these nights are really the heartbeat of Passion is still there. I think what we're
Mhm.
hoping is um, that people can come in and experience not a concert, and
Right.
not a performance, but that we really can have an encounter with God. And we're calling it the Faith is Greater Than Fear tour.
Mm.
And so I think with us leading at Passion City Church week after week, hearing stories and doing these tours and talking to people, just God's really helping us see that people are dealing with a lot of fear and anxiety and depression and doubt. And we thought, man, if we could really aim the truth of who Jesus is at that lie and at that chain that's wrapped around people and hopefully people can find freedom. I mean, what an amazing thing to be able to do. So
Hmm.
that's really the gear, that's really the heartbeat of the tour. And then to be out with guys like Travis
Yes.
Green, who's really becoming a great friend. He's such an amazing guy. Let's go. Friend of Passions. Tripley will be out for some of it. It's just
Nice.
really going to be a special group of people, and so we really have high expectation. We're like you. We feel like we've been sitting on it for a long time. We're like
Yeah.
we're ready to get rehearsals going and get to you guys.
Nice, man. I mean, you guys have released so much music over the years. I mean, dude, 8 #1 albums, which I mean, an album going number one is exciting. I mean, it's a big
Yeah.
deal. It's not what it's all about in the end. But it's a great, accolade to have. But with all of the music you guys have and have put together over the years,
Yeah.
how do you decide what to play on these shows? Is it different songs each night, or is it kind of sit down and this is kind of what we're led to play? This is kind of what's on our hearts to play tonight, or at this moment, or anything like that. How does that work?
Yeah, well, for us, preparation started about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Okay.
Really started talking about content, what we want the nights to look and feel like, and then we sat down with our team at Six Steps and some of our production team and started talking about a set list. And we really believe that God has already started to lead that process, and songs have started to rise to the top. Whole Heart, which just came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
And so we're going to lean on a lot of the newer stuff.
Okay.
That's what God is saying right now. But then there are some other songs like from some of the previous records like Glorious Day or Holy Ground or Build My Life, Worthy of Your Name. Some of these songs that really have become just real anchors for us at our church and when we go on tour. So there'll be some of the new stuff, some of the old stuff. And then you're right, man, every night is going to look similar, but we also know that what God is doing each night could be different in some ways. And so we're always listening for that and shifting on the fly if we need to.
Gotcha. So, I mean, As far as each night is set up, I mean, just the layout of how the show is going to go. I mean, what are these shows going to be like, and just kind of the layout of how everything's going to unfold, because it really
Yeah,
is like a mini conference, but you
yeah.
don't have as much time as you would have at one of the bigger, stadium or arena conference events.
hmm Yeah, honestly, we're still working through that. I think there have been a lot of ideas about how we can lay the night out. Um, but I can say that the flow is going to feel really natural,
Mhm.
and I think people are really going to feel like they got something substantial when they're leaving. So Travis, tell you what, man, I had a chance to see Travis lead with his band recently, and people just need to get ready. It is awesome. It's
That's
so
awesome.
good. It's just power, man. And then Louis, of course, is going to
Yeah.
be locked with a killer message, um, and yeah. So we haven't quite landed on the flow just yet, but I do know it's going to be really, really great.
And seeing Louis speak, I've never seen him in person. I've seen the videos of,
Yeah.
his messages, his sermons. Dude, talk about a guy that has just been doing it for as long as he has, but still just as on fire and has almost as bigger heart now than he did
hmm
when he first started. I mean, being out on the road with it, with such a just a great person and a great speaker, and just someone who loves the Lord as much as he does. I mean, what is it
Yeah.
like being out with him, and how does he help your spiritual walk?
Yeah. Oh man, Louis is awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're so right. I was listening to Louis when I was in high school.
Yeah,
I first started listening to him, and I I was like, I don't know, I've never heard anybody talk about Jesus like this. This is
yeah,
incredible,
yeah.
and so yeah, and I really do think too with the church. The church is 10 years old now,
Hmm.
or will be 9 years old, going on 10 years. But I think pastoring a Passion City Church, leading our team there, and really getting into people's lives and what they're dealing with, and hearing stories, that has really affected Louis in the way that he teaches. I think he really has the ability to see people in a way that he maybe couldn't see people before being a pastor. So in a lot of ways, yeah, his preaching and teaching is just lit up even more. But
Yeah.
when we're on the road, uh, Louis is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun together. Um, he's he's always in the mix with the band. We're always kind of joking. Every now and then we'll pull pranks on each other.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. Uh, there was one time where he got this rubber snake, and he kept trying to hide it in all of our bunks, and we never knew where it was going to turn up.
Oh my God.
We got a couple of guys in our band who hate snakes, and so
Yeah.
he was trying to plant these snakes. It's just stuff like that, and then we'll grill out as a team and
Hmm.
all hang out. So it really does feel like family,
That's awesome.
and it's awesome.
Yeah, I remember I went to my first year of college. It was at this very, very small private Bible college in the middle of nowhere in Iowa. And
Oh
I
yeah,
just remember just the pranks. It was
yeah, yeah,
just a lot of fun. It was a
yeah.
very small school, so it was almost like a big giant family and big community. And
Exactly.
when you're
Yeah,
that close to people, you can do stuff like that, and you know that
yeah,
they're not going to get upset, and that.
yeah.
But you also got to watch your back, because they might come right back and get. You got to be ready for the revenge prank,
That's it,
because
man. That's it. If you're gonna dish it out, you gotta be ready to take it, man. Yeah,
exactly. And you got to have fun on the road. Man, being on tour gets boring, and just
yeah,
always on a bus or in a van or whatever, and you have
yeah,
to it's what you make it. Um
yeah. Exactly,
but
exactly.
man, one thing I love about just the Passion setup is all of these worship music has gotten so popular in the last 10 years, I feel like, but Passion brings all of the big players together. On a Passion
Yeah.
album and conference, you can have Matt Redman, Chris
hmm
Tomlin, Crowder,
hmm
Christy Nockels, everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so cool to see everybody coming together for almost like a super event and a super group album and record, and on a regular basis every year or two, doing it every
Yeah.
time. And how do you get all these guys involved with it, and just how special is it for you to be involved with that? Because that
Oh
is
man.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just say like all those guys and and girls that you just mentioned, I mean, they're legends. They're absolute legends,
Yeah.
and just heroes of us all. You know, they're amazing, and they were here long before we were, carrying the torch and writing songs and leading. And we were watching them, you know, from afar. I watched, you know, Chris lead. He really came on my radar like in college, and I just watched him lead
Yes.
from afar. I was like, man, that guy is just what an amazing songwriter and leader. And so then, you know, yeah, to get to lead next to some of our heroes, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like a dream come true. It's like, and you know, the cool thing is getting up close and being able to lead with them for a lot of years. They're just finding out that they're the real deal. Like
Yeah.
they really do love God, and they got just humble, like humility all over their lives. They
That's
just want to
awesome.
serve people and serve the church. And um, so yeah, you know, so to bring all those people together is really special, and we'll always be grateful to Chris and Matt and Christy, David, Charlie, Nathan, all
Yeah.
those amazing people, just for the door they opened for the next generation to come and lead.
And I feel like they're
And
long.
they're all still doing it too. They're all
Yeah.
still like
Oh my
making
God.
music and killing
Decades.
it. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like their longevity is there because they're genuine. It's not an act. I mean,
yeah, right.
I remember listening to Chris Tomlin's music. I remember listening to Tomlin's music when I was in college, and
Yeah, you there?
yep, I thought I lost you there for a second.
Okay, yeah,
I remember listening to Chris's music and Matt's music in high school,
yeah,
but I'm like, I'm never gonna see these guys live, and it's just,
yeah,
then you go to a show and it's like, oh my God, these guys are genuinely the real. It's
right,
real. It's not an act. It's
right,
really there, and they really do have the heart for it, and it
yeah,
shows through everything. And so, I mean, you don't see those many, big deal people come together for something very often, but on a regular basis, it's really cool to see.
yeah. That's
Um,
awesome.
but I wanted to ask, I mean, being a worship leader at Passion City Church and all that, how did that prepare you for these bigger events and to lead? It's one thing to lead a church congregation. It's one thing to stand in front of 15, 17,000 people
Yeah,
and do the same thing. Is there any difference for you, and how does that affect the other?
yeah. Man, I think for us, I think the way anybody has to think about it is that, you know, whether we're doing a tiny little, you know, we're in a hospital room with 8 people, you know, or we're on a tour night with a few thousand people, or at church, or at a big passion thing, you know, for us, it's just, we just are, no matter where we're leading, we just want people to see Jesus. And I just want to be listening and leading. And so for me, you know, obviously the size of the room changes and the amount of people changes, but the heart, I think, has got to stay the same. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're hoping and praying for every time I pick up a guitar, every time I sing a lead, I just really want to be available to the Holy Spirit and help the people see Jesus. So, um,
Definitely.
but you know, church, being a part of Passion City Church is really, I think, maybe like I was saying about Louis, it's really affected the way that I want to lead worship, the way that I want to write songs, the way that I want to speak to people when I'm leading. It's just being anchored in a local church. Um, really, it's a grounding thing. You know, it plants your feet firmly in the reality that um, everybody's broken, everybody's
Yeah.
not having the best life, and life is hard, and we get to be in a position where we can write songs that can help people in those seasons, you know, or lead worship and bring a truth to people that can really give hope. And so that has really impacted and affected the way that I write and lead, for sure.
That's awesome. And one thing that I think is really special for people to remember is, I mean, with me doing concerts as often as I do, I mean,
Yeah,
you could have a show or an event where there's 3 people,
yeah,
but they are more excited and involved and means more to them to be there
right.
than a room of 85,000 people.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
any time I think the word says that anytime 3 or more people are gathered in the name of Jesus, the Spirit is there.
Yeah, yeah,
And so, I mean, you could have an arena full of people, but they're all there just for the show. But a room of 3 or 4 people, that they're just broken. I mean, the church is
Yeah.
just one giant dysfunctional family
Yeah. Right.
that's looking to be healed and looking to be helped and looking for hope. And those
Yeah.
2 or 3 people that show up to a small group or devotional or small group setting could really, sometimes they are looking for it and need it more and want it more, and they're more thirsty and
Right.
hungry
Right.
than a big room. And that's what a lot
Yeah.
of people need to remember is, man, a lot of the church shows, like the worship nights tour, I mean, a lot of those are going to be
Mm-hmm.
in churches, and
Yep.
that's where the church members are going to bring their friends who maybe aren't believers or
Right.
atheists or, just depressed people looking for hope. That's where they're going to be. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
those are the most powerful shows I've ever been to. They're just fun, and there's just something special about those. And I cannot wait. I can't wait for the show in November. It's gonna be a special show. That church is outstanding. Northview Church
Awesome. It's
is
great to hear, man.
yeah, it's a great.
Awesome.
I don't go there regularly, but when I am there, it's just, you can
Yeah.
tell that there's just something there. It's a
That's
special.
awesome, bro.
Yeah, man.
Well,
It's
we
gonna be
can't wait, dude. We can't wait. We're so excited.
definitely, man. And
Yeah.
dude, Christian, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. I will be there in November. I cannot wait. I'll be there for sure.
All right. Well, let's. I'd love to see you face to face, man. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure. I'll shoot you a message or something the week of the
Awesome.
show, and
Okay.
definitely keep in touch throughout until then. And
Okay.
man, stay safe
Right
on
on.
the safe travels on the road. Be safe out there,
Thank
and
you,
man, we'll see you in about a month and a half, 2 months, dude.
dude. I can't wait.